Today's show is brought to you by HelloFresh. If you're like me and look at the Food Network and all these channels and watch all these gourmet meals and just lust after them, let's just be real, you're lusting after them. Guys, we have a solution for you. HelloFresh does all the shopping, the planning, and delivery. So all you have to do, guys, is put this meal together, and they give you the instructions as well, so you can create the gourmet meals in the luxury of your own home. So use the code SUCCESS30. Success30. Just go to HelloFresh.com and use that code Success30 to get $30 off your first week of HelloFresh. So make sure you check it out. Today's show is also brought to you by Organifi, the best tasting green blend on the market. They're cold processed, guys, to retain all of the nutrients. And if you're looking to fill all the nutritional gaps and buffer out that new stress that your body has to deal with on a daily basis, check out Organifi.com. That's Organifi.com, and use the promo code SUCCESS to save 20% on your order. And now to today's show.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
What it do, what up, man?
And Dr. Douglas Thomas, who I hear is staying in the castle, if I'm not.
Is that what you heard?
I heard something about a castle. I heard you take the Ritz-Carlton and times it by 10, and that's where you'll find him.
Hey, E, so you staying at CJ's house?
No
question. No question. No question.
I don't even have a crest. I just got a logo.
No questions asked.
Where you at? Yeah. Where are you at?
The Breakers. The Breakers, West Palm, Florida. The Breakers.
That's the name of the hotel?
Yes, the Breakers. Yep, that's the name of the hotel.
Never heard of it. It might be above my pay grade.
Oh, trust me, Carl. That's way out of our pay grade. That's way
I doubt it, but
tell us about this breaker. They call it the breakers because it break your pockets.
I know that's right. No, it's a normal hotel, man. It's funny though. See, I when I checked in, it's the perks, I guess. They said to me, that they upgraded my room to an ocean view. So it's the same hotel. It's the exact same room, but they upgraded it to the ocean view, which I thought I had that automatically, right? But anyway, I was out walking this morning with Joe from Breathe You, and I was walking, seeing as you can kind of look and see, the property, and you can see rooms, of course, that had the ocean view. Then you can see rooms to, like the front of the hotel, some on the side of the hotel. And it was just funny to me. I was just like, oh, this is crazy. Like one hotel, one property, but multiple different types of rooms, suites, standard rooms, ocean view, whatever. Think about a ship and how you got the deck or whatever. And I just was like, wow, this is crazy. In life, you get to decide, same property, but you get to decide what your experience in life is going to be. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people don't believe that. Some people believe that they are, they're destined to whatever their, life is, that they don't get to make choices. They don't have options. I don't necessarily agree with that, and I'm just looking at like, wow, there are people who stand in the exact same hotel I'm in, but they'll get a totally different experience than I get because they don't have the privilege of, looking at the view. And then I'm just going to, I don't know where this is going to go with CJ, Carl, but, when we talk about the second generation grind, and, I don't want to get into that right now, but, we have Jada has a room next to ours. You know how, of course, the doors open, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like tripping that not only are we blessed to have a certain experience, but we're able to give our door to that experience. So it's not like we're in this room and then they're downstairs somewhere, or they, in another space. We're in the same space. And it was funny, the young lady who is doing the housekeeping, she was just asking us, they started asking a bunch of questions, see, like, whoa, but they didn't ask me, to ask Jada, like, who are you? To ask Jada first if she was Irish. And Jada was like, no, I'm from Alabama. I'm like, don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Your grandfather's from Ireland. You ain't got to lie. You can tell her here. But I don't know why she picked that. But of course, where you from? All the questions, see, and not in a bad way, but just kind of like, yo, y'all got 2 rooms? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a couch. You know, they had a nice little sleeping couch in the room where it's like, she not in there. And I'm like, nah, she need her own space. Like, she grown, we need our own space. But I just say that to say that we really, I believe that we really do in this life get to choose. Now, there's some things that you have to do once you make a choice. It's not just like you just dream it and you wake up and it happens, but we really do get an opportunity to, you know, live the life that we want to live. And so I just was looking at that this morning, like, yo, same property. I don't know how many rooms they have on the property, but they're different experiences. And I just choose to get the experience that shows me the ocean. Like, it's just a different, I'm just saying, when you go to bed with you hear the waves, you wake up, you hear the waves, you see the ocean, 3 colors of green. It's just a different experience.
Yeah, no, I got a little app on my phone that plays like ocean noises, so. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No question.
I got a little app where you just hit it and you can hear like a little orca. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the same as what you're describing.
It's gotta be. It has to be.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it gotta be pretty similar because they went to your balcony and taped it and then put it on the app for everybody to enjoy from the comforts of their own raggedy home.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, Carl, make sure though you play that ocean view on your surround sound by your pool with Lil Man.
No doubt.
So that you can get that experience.
Let's move from there. We're not talking about me.
What you say, D?
Fair foul. I got to, because I do want to come back to that, but we can't begin the podcast too serious.
Yeah, I know that's right. Hey, but fair or foul, you hadn't done that in a while.
Oh yeah, and trust me, people let me know every time I don't do it. They're like, "Yo, bring that back."
Okay.
Okay. So actually, shoot, I got 2 of them. How should I do this? So let's do both of them. Why not? What do we got here? We got nothing but time. He tried to get deep early on in the podcast. I don't allow that.
I didn't try to get deep.
Now I got to double down on some foolishness to get us back to even. You know what I'm saying? Just to get us back to even. Actually, so we have a user submitted fair file. And I thought this one was pretty deep.
That's different. You don't usually allow those. That's different.
Yeah, no. Here comes a fair file from YouTube. Somebody alerted me to a YouTube fair file that they said, yo, you might want to check this out. It's pretty deep. So my man Sir Stall on YouTube said, here's a fair file. My stepbrother and his fiance announced their pregnancy at my fiance and I's engagement party. Fair file. Fair file.
I'm going foul as all get out. And I'll tell you why. Foul because y'all got 9 doggone months, 10 months if you do it. I think they said 10 months, I don't even remember. But it's the full time that y'all got that y'all could be saying that. Y'all got plenty of time to announce that before she starts showing. You ain't had to do it that exact same time.
E?
I think it's fair. You know what I'm saying? You got everybody there. You know what I'm saying? You got everybody there.
They already paid for the environment, right?
Beast mode. You know what I'm saying? You got everybody
Beast
in that
mode.
joint.
That's gorilla mode.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No, I'm with you. I'm like, yo, everybody already there.
There.
It's a celebration. Drinks flowing. Everybody having a good time. Let's just double down on the festivities. Now, I will say this. You got to holler at bro and his girl first.
I'll give you that, yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because if they plan the party, I will say this. All is fair if you split the expenses for the party. So if you want to make your announcement, whoever paid for all the, cake and ice cream and all of that, I just need y'all to split that up and go for it. So
I don't know about split,
Carl
though.
says foul,
Yeah,
me and E say
I don't
fair.
know about split. I give you a tip, a gratuity. You know what I'm saying? I give you a gratuity for it. Because my announcement ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just letting you know it's going to happen. Like, we ain't about to do nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know that it is happening. So for me, I give you a little 20% gratuity.
But what if they not engaged? And so they like out of wedlock and my man trying to do his thing right. You know what I'm saying?
If they out of wedlock.
Here come his hood brother.
It's out of wedlock.
You know what I'm saying?
50-50.
We pregnant,
Yeah,
we pregnant. Just met her Tuesday.
50-50.
You know what I'm saying?
50-50.
He just met baby girl on Tuesday.
50-50.
And now he
If
done
it's out
blew
of
out their
wedlock.
whole engagement.
Yeah, no, if it's out of wedlock,
They trying to do things
50%.
right in the Lord's eyes.
No, 50%. But if if you did it right in the Lord's eye, I'm gonna give you a tip. But if it's for real, if it's wedlock, I'm gonna need 50%. That is, because you could be defiling my hookup. So yeah, you're right.
If it's out of wedlock, yeah, no, I mean definitely out of wedlock, because that's the only reason you announce it at somebody else's party. You know what I'm saying? You just, you too geeked up. Okay, I got another fair file. This is my own. And I'm not sure, I just need to know how y'all feel about this. Fair files in the airport, and I saw this lady, and I know we've all seen the kids who got the leashes on, right? So this lady, she had 2 kids, and she had 1 leash, but it had like a little extender, if you will, with both kids on the leash. And I know you're in the airport, it's a lot going on. There was about Trey's, maybe Trey's age a little younger, 3, 4 years old. Fair foul to have your kids on a leash. Something, it just didn't look right to me. So I'm gonna go foul. But I wanted to know where do y'all stand in terms of the kids with the leashes on?
Yeah, I can't stand it.
And where do you stand with this little wolf pack she had on her leash?
I never liked it, but let me put it in perspective. For me personally, I never liked it, but I have met some kids that you might want to have that as a precaution, because there's just some kids that ain't, you know what I'm saying, they ain't listening, they ain't abiding by the rules like that. So if you know that that's your kid, then do what you must. But for me personally, I ain't trying to be walking around with no, y'all need to stand next to me. I mean, play, but you know what I'm saying, but within reason, like don't be running crazy, tearing nothing up.
I mean, dog, Carl, come on, bro. You got your kids on a physical leash?
Hey, I'm telling you.
It's only 2 kids.
I'm saying, yeah, you should be able to control 2, but I'm telling you, I've seen kids that just go do their own thing. Like, whatever it is, whatever you're doing at home, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just comfortable enough to just walk their own way, you know what I'm saying? Go up to anybody, do anything. So I'm better safe than sorry. I'm like, again, for me, no. Yeah. But if that's what you need to do for your kids, then go for it.
Yeah, fair.
Hip-hop preacher, please help me. You old school, so I know you ain't feeling
I'm fair,
loose,
fair.
Tell us the science behind that.
Hey, fair. I'm going with fair. I'm going with fair, see? I'm going with fair. These bad, and I don't cuss, but you see, said you cuss sometimes. This might be when I need to cuss. I'm a pastor.
Oh,
I'm a pastor. I done seen these babies coming to church. I done seen them. And so moms, I got a single parent mom, she can't do nothing with them shorties. It's either somebody kidnap them or you put them on a leash. So it's real out here today, especially, man, with, for real, kidnapping is on a whole nother level. These kids get lost, somebody snatch them up. I don't think that, I don't think it's the best look.
That little leash ain't nobody about to stop. They could just pop, they just trying to snatch a kid.
No, I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying these kids wonder. You go to, I can't tell you how many times I've been to the Disney World, Disneyland, and you getting called mom, like, why am I lost my child? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, these kids these days, man, I don't know if it's in the food, it's in the drink, but they be it's like a video game. They popping all over the place. And you can't keep your eye on them 24/7, bro. You cannot keep your eye on these kids 24/7. If you got multiple, I was just on the beach. My man had 4 kids on the beach. I'm like, yo, he need a leash. He got 4 kids. One of these kids about to drown. My man ain't gonna be at home. My man by himself. I ain't see his mama out there. I ain't see the mama out there. I ain't see no grandparents out there. I ain't see no help, bro. I'm like, one of these kids about to come up off in this water, and something bad gonna happen to these kids. So I don't think it's a good look. It does not look good, but functionality-wise.
How does it look?
Man,
what you mean by it?
It look like you got Castro. You got little Castro walking around with little Castro. So it don't look good, but I guarantee you this: you know where them jokers are at all times. At all times, you know where they are. Yeah.
Duh, they look like a little Alaskan Huskies, just like mushing through the snow. Though it was crazy.
I feel you, but at the end of the day, it looked bad to you, but I bring all of them home. They all come home safe.
Right. Right.
Let me tell you how you should bring all of them home. You use that leash in a different way, and they stand right by you with military precision.
Let's just be real, though. People don't believe in that no more. So since we no longer believe in whipping kids, and it's all psychological now, it's all time out, we got to get a leash some kind of way. So get the rod, parents, and use the rod, not to whip them, but at least to bring them in.
Okay. All right. Well, for those of you out there using a leash for your kids, continue to use a leash. And let me tell you something. I'm not hating on you. I'm just saying, find a different way, because it looked crazy. It does look crazy. I'm not gonna lie. All right. E. So, man, we talked about, so E and I had continued our talk, man. We got a huge reception from the second generation dog and just talking about that hunger thing and that whole piece. And of course, we had E twisted up a couple times. He wasn't sure what was going on. But E, let's just put a bow on, you know what I'm saying? Let's put a bow on that thing because you called me and tried to talk to me about it. I said, no, don't talk to me about it on here.
I'm just saying.
Save it for the podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're not even allowed to have conversations. I'm like, yo, save it for the podcast. So I know you wanted to come back and just add a little flesh to it. So let's finish that out, and then I want to talk about just success on a different level.
Yeah, but listen to me. So, Carl, I didn't come up with any new insight. I just wanted to I just told C, I just wanted to go back over it again. You know how you take a test and you're like, if I can take that test a second time, I think I can get about 3 or 4 more right. I knew the answer, but I got a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? But being honest, man, like the millennial generation, man, they get beat down, you know, and a lot of times I think they get beat down. Some of it, you know, may be, you know, some of it, they may have it coming to them. You know what I'm saying? That sometimes they're a little bit, you know, me-focused, you know, entitled. But I think sometimes because they don't go through what we went through, we kind of disrespect or disregard their struggle. And I thought about it when I got off C, and I'm not going to say I never mentioned it before, but I don't know what it's like to deal with racism, you know? And that just because I didn't deal with it growing up in Detroit, you know, I was in a, you know, homogeneous society for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever remember, you know, coming up in the D and really experiencing anything other than, you know, African Americans, if you will. I went to Oakwood. So for a large portion of my life, there's certain things that I didn't have to deal with. You know, so when Jada comes home and says somebody called her the N-word, you know, in middle school and high school, you know, when you go to school, middle school and high school, and you don't have one teacher that looks like you know, when you talk about cultural, you know, relevancy, is none. When you don't have a teacher, you don't have an administrator, you don't have a staff, you know, member, I think it may have been one in Grand Ledge, you know, so I had to stop, you know, and say, what does it feel like to be in the classroom? They're watching 42, the movie with Jackie Robinson, and there was a portion in there where, of course, the guy was like, N, and you're in the school and they turn on you and one of the white male students in there call you N, and saying, oh, I'm only saying what was in the movie, you know, or somebody's touching your hair and asking, you know, what kind of hair is that? You know, I sat back and thought like, yo, don't minimize what Jada went through because it wasn't homeless. You know, I don't know what that would be like to go to a school and you're one of the few minorities in that school. So I was like, yo, that's a struggle for Jalen. You know, people, when Obama was elected, it was like that monkey, showing pictures of that monkey, you know, and I'm like, yo, I thought about like, yo, I didn't go through that. You know, I didn't experience that growing up in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when nobody about to come over in our side of town talking that talk, you know, and so I had to think about it. Jalen broke his femur playing football. You know, he went, months, you know, without being able to walk properly. And then, you know, of course, bounced back, then went back to play the sport again. So I didn't play organized ball on that level. I didn't play in high school like that. You know, so for me, it's like, yo, it's some stuff that I'm like, whatever. But it's like, E, you didn't go through that, you know, and I'm sure had you gone through that, you would have considered that a struggle. You know, maybe not your struggle, but a struggle nonetheless. So I just said to myself, like, yo, we got to be careful because, again, sometimes because it's not your struggle, you feel like it's not a struggle. But it's still a struggle. It's their struggle. And I'm sure that the experiences that Jalen went through, and Jada being a female, like, okay, Jalen went through it, and I remember like, all right, son, you'll get through it. But what is it like being a black female in a predominantly white institution? What does that feel like, being a female? You know, and of course, you probably, there are a lot of differences. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, unfortunately for Jada, she's not dark enough, you know, sometimes for the African-American community, and then she's not white enough to be in the white community. So I'm like, yo, she's had her struggles, and those struggles have shaped her, and I have to be careful not to say, oh, you millennial, you don't know what no real struggle is. Well, no, maybe she don't know some of the stuff that I went through, but she's had her own struggles. So that second generation dog, I'm just saying like, yo, there are some things that she's had to go through that's helped shape her. And so I can't, again, just because she had her own room and she had, some privileges, that doesn't mean she hadn't gone through her personal struggles.
Yeah, you know what too, E? And I'm thinking, like, now that you say that, let's take it back a generation further to where your father, your stepfather, imagine what he went through being a black basketball player in Texas in what, the 60s?
Yep, 60s.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right. So you can almost take it a step further and say, he could really say that, I don't care nothing about your little homelessness and all of that. Like, we had a struggle that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so I think I guess what you're saying is it is relative to the era. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say the statistic for me that stands out is, and I don't mean to take the podcast down, but youth suicide is probably higher now than it's ever been. You know what I mean? So if you take that into consideration, apparently whatever pressures they're facing are enough. You know what I'm saying? Because it's as drastic as it could be right now. Like they are, committing suicide is alarming rates. In school, like you never heard, just be real. See, have you ever heard of somebody in school when you was in school committing suicide? Ever?
No.
I can't think of, I'm talking about zero.
No. I don't have no friends that I know personally.
Has to be right. It has to be relative. Whatever pressure they have now is enough. It's too much. You know what I'm saying? For them. Again, we can't compare it because we're raised differently. If you're raised in the 60s, there's some things that you're just aware of that it exists and this is how the society is and you know what to do, what not to do. You know what I mean? There's some things that are there. So now it's just different. They're raised in a different way. And for us, it may look as though they're softer, whatever the case may be, but it's relative.
Which is why I think it's worse, Carl. Which is why I think it's worse when I got off the phone. Because I was like, at least in my parents' era, some of the struggles I went through, they went through some of the same struggles.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't remember my mom being like, you soft. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom would drop me off at my grandma's and my aunts, and they lived in the Herman Garden projects. And my mom would drop me off, and it was like, you're not taking no extra lunch. You're not taking none of your toys. Like, when you go over here, I'm not giving you no privileges. Like, you're going to live like your cousins live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not about to give you no money to go to McDonald's because they ain't going to have no money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say they ain't never had no money, but they weren't well off like that. Right. So my mom wasn't about to be like, you go eat at McDonald's and let them, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff that I went through going over to my grandma's house and being raised pretty much when I was with my cousins, it was not the same middle class lifestyle that we had. You feel me? So my mom knew exactly what it was because she had just had that. But then you think about what C is doing for his kids and what you're doing for your kids, Carl. Like, y'all didn't live like that. I'm not trying to say y'all didn't have a good life, but from a materialistic standpoint and exposure standpoint, it's a total difference. Like you said, C, you wasn't flying. My little man got more frequent flyer miles at his age than you probably had accumulated, all the way up until your lifetime.
Up until then, yeah.
So at least for my mom and my family, the struggles that we were going through, they were familiar with them, maybe at a greater level, but they were familiar. So for us, our kids almost don't have our support because we'll be quick to say, boy, stop crying. You got your own room. You had a car at 16. You going to college, like, stop tripping. And it's like, so this generation almost goes through their struggles alone because they're new struggles. I didn't have, like C said, I ain't had no identity issues. Me and my boys all wear the song. We all wore Converse. Before that, it was Kids. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, we all had the same Nikes. It wasn't no J's out. It was just the plain canvas Nikes with the rubber.
Right, with nothing else to compare
That's all we had. Everybody was all wearing Lee jeans. We all had, Adidas, whatever. Like we all had the same thing because all of our parents went to work, at Ford, at GM, at Chrysler. You know what I'm saying? So so we're looking at them like these struggles are whack. And so they're pretty much for real on their own. And we got to do better as parents and not isolate ourselves from our kids because that's how they end up getting in gangs. That's how they end up committing suicide because they feel alone. They kind of feel like, I'm out here struggling by myself. My parents don't get it. They ain't never been on the internet like that. They don't do social media. And we like, social media got you crying? Stop tripping. But like you said, Carl, it's relative. And so for them, that is pressure.
Do you to say anything to your kids about social media?
The only conversation Jada and I really see, Jalen and I need to really have the conversation. Jada, falls on the other spectrum, so she's not really about.
Jada really don't do social media.
She don't do it like
right?
that. So she does it, but Jada is not putting her business out. You know what I'm saying? Like Jada don't want you to know what she doing. You know what I'm saying? Like Jada don't want me to know what she doing. Jada playing chess. You know what I'm saying? Jalen he used to play checkers. You know what I'm saying? Jada playing chess. Like, she don't want nobody to know nothing about her life, Whereas I don't know if you remember, but Jalen used to have on there, Jalen Thomas, the son of
the hip-hop preacher.
Hip-hop preacher. You know what I'm saying?
The one and only.
No question.
The anointed
you know what
one.
I'm saying? So Jalen wasn't playing with it. You know what I'm saying? But for me and Jalen, I just had to say to Jalen, you see how we use social media. And I think, son, it doesn't mean that you can't live in your generation and do what your generation is doing. But understand, if you're doing what they're doing, you're going to be who they are. And so you need to make sure you're using it in a way where, I don't know what the pressures are to show people what you got or what you don't have. I don't know. But it needs to be business. You need to use it as a living, breathing portfolio, as a living, breathing resume.
I was gonna say the other side of it kind of trips me out though, E, because that's one side of you posting.
He just made I'm sorry, Carl.
Huh?
He just made social media so boring. He need to use it as a resume. I'm like, wow, E. I'm like, you getting old, bro. It's a living, breathing resume, a document that can be used for job purposes. Like, man, I got to turn my Facebook into a resume.
No question. See,
Hey,
I need you to
so
make money
I
off
was
that joke. like Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg getting paid. No, Zuckerberg lost 100 and some billion and still kept 400 and some billion. I need you to use it like that.
100 billion.
That's how I need you to use it.
Zuckerberg lost 100 billion. My bad, Carl. I just trying to see how E was making kids use their Snapchat for their virtual resume. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, no, I was asking, so that's one side of it, E, what you paused. But what I'm seeing, and my niece is here from Barbados, this tripping me out that you live in Barbados, but you're still consumed with watching it all day long. Like you literally on Instagram watching other people's stuff all day long. So that's the part that if I'm gonna speak out on, that's the piece.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you just watching
crazy.
somebody else do their life all day long.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, we gotta say something about that.
Yeah, maybe we do 100. Maybe some people we getting ready to come up on the 100-day challenge. Maybe some people do a 100-day challenge with no social media.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's gonna hurt some people.
Oh, they'd rather go vegan.
Oh, I'm talking
they'd rather go
about
vegan.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
We'll see if somebody's willing to try it, but I
That's
guess it's gonna be hard
bro.
to check in on like all your
Right.
Yeah, it's just
On your business.
Because here goes the
On your
thing.
business.
The bad part is it really is a great tool for some things.
Right, yeah.
But it wastes so much time, and so it's funny. Part of the reason why, and I didn't even want to dive into a conversation about social media, but part of the reason that I don't have social media, one, obviously we made the conscious effort to kind of focus on E's brand and all of that. And so I took it down. But then also when I was in grad school, I just found myself to be so much more productive when I didn't have that. Like not having social media, not having to be on there all day, check it all day. Like, yo, I have a hard time returning text messages. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so now you hit me with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. Now I gotta check all these messages, all these DMs. Like, you're giving me more responsibilities. For me, it was a productivity issue. It didn't have anything to do with self-esteem or anything that maybe the millennials are dealing with. For me, it was a productivity issue. And not saying, I mean, obviously I'm grown now. I just, if I'm on there and I don't feel like responding, I just won't respond. But it's almost like a job. You know what I mean? Like, I see people on their social media and I'm like, yo, like you need to free yourself up from that. Like, I got enough taking my time with work and, other things that we got going on than to have to be on social media literally for hours a day, responding and replying and that whole thing. I'm just, I don't know.
Hey, I read this quote, and y'all take it where you want, but I heard it in a song. My man says, we got eagle wings, but we doing ostrich things. Eagle wings, like I'm talking about, you can soar, but you're doing stuff that people that can't fly, you know what I'm saying? That's the max that they can do, and that's what you're doing with your time. And that's what it feels like for me, you know what I'm saying? You're like, dude, you have a brain, the creativity at this time on planet Earth, dude, the creativity it's insane, you know what I'm saying? I just saw, this one will make y'all laugh. I was walking through the airport coming back from New York last week, And now you could just order, like you could sit at your gate, and the restaurant, you just like, you can order the joint and they'll bring it to your gate, whatever gate you at. I'm like, it's at an all-time high, bro. Any kind of thing you could think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want you to miss your flight. So you just put your whatever, you walk in by the little billboard and they say, hey, just text this to that with your order and boom, we bring it to your gate. I'm like, crazy. You're at an all-time high for technology, for, just like no restrictions in terms of what you could do. Travel, you could jump on a plane, you could jump on a train, a bus, whatever.
Carl, man, let me tell you something, bro. Okay, maybe I'm behind, but bro, we cut the TV on yesterday to watch the news, and when you first cut the TV on, they're trying to sell you those movies, like buy a movie. And like C said, man, majority of the time, I don't even do it no more. Last time I ordered a movie in a hotel was probably about 6-7 years ago, because like C said, I've been and fell asleep on that joint. I don't know if it's called ultraviolet.
You ain't ordering the right kind of movie.
Okay.
Okay. They got a different section. I promise you won't go to sleep.
He said, I'm ordering the wrong type of movie, D. He said, it's movies that will keep you up. But what's so crazy though, Carl?
I'm talking about up.
He said, he's talking about up, Carl. Then he said, literally.
Hey, man, you're a grown man.
Hey,
you got your wife. I don't know.
Hey, hide your babies. Whoever listens to
PG-13 podcast.
Whoever listens to this, hide your babies.
I apologize.
But it's some system now, Carl. I don't know. I don't remember the name. Maybe ultraviolet or ultra blue. So what happens is, if you get this feature, if you don't finish the movie, you can finish it on the airplane, or you can watch it when you get to the crib. And I'm like, unbelievable, bro. So they done made it like, look, don't even trip.
Oh, yeah,
don't even trip.
That's only at the breakers, though. You can't do that at the, you know what I'm saying? I tried it. I tried it at the Holiday Inn Deluxe Express. They did not let me continue watching it on Spirit.
See, my TV didn't come on. My TV didn't come on.
Spirit, definitely. You know what I'm saying? You get on Spirit. I'll be damned if they let you continue your movie. You know what I'm saying? Spirit, like, you got to pay for water. You got to pay for everything. Wi-Fi, playoffs. You know?
Playoffs? Practice?
Have you lost your mind? Hey, the other thing, I can't remember if I said this on here or not, but I was watching 60 Minutes one time, and they were talking about how they purposely program your phone so that you have to check it, like apps. So like Instagram, did I tell y'all this already? Forgive me, I'm old, y'all. If I said it before, just bear with me.
It sounds good, keep going.
But they said, you can go watch it, just type in 60 Minutes, like Instagram or social media, whatever, Carl. But what they do is, let's say you post a pic, right? Let's say your picture get 100 people that like it immediately. They'll withhold some of your likes so that they give them to you each time you check them.
Oh, wow.
So let's say you go, you post a pic, right? They give you 30 likes off the rip. And then you put your phone down and then you check it again in 2-3 minutes, they'll give you like 7 likes. And then you put your phone down for 20 minutes and they'll give you like 20 likes.
Wow.
And they'll keep doing that with you so they can program your brain to constantly keep checking the apps, because guess what? If they gave you all 100 likes at one time and then your picture just sat there and nobody did anything for the next, it's nothing to do. So they'll purposely stagger your likes so that they can start programming you to check your phone over and over and over and over and over again. And it was actually a dude who worked for, I can't remember if it was Google or one of these companies, who came in, they were interviewing him. He was like, we are like purposely sabotaging and brainwashing you to be addicted to this app. Because what happens is, when you check it and you get likes, it's like a dopamine that's released that makes you feel good, right? So they keep going with that, and they just extend them on out, bro. They'd be like, come on back, we got a couple likes for you. And so they do that purposely. So if you're out there, you're being brainwashed. If you want to stop it, I don't know how, but go seek help.
So I'm tripping. I don't even know where we're going with the podcast no more, but I'm just tripping because, and listen to what I'm saying closely, y'all. Like, I'm being real. Everybody else in the world that's serious about their life and what they're doing, they're putting up all kind of strategies. Consider it what you want, good, not good, manipulative, whatever. I'm talking about the food is addictive. See, they're adding sugar to stuff, high fructose corn syrup or whatever it is to stuff to keep you addicted. They're doing it to your food. They're doing it to your phone. They're doing it to everything we doing but yet we just sitting and consuming it. The average person out here just sitting and going and eating the same stuff. I had to stop the Polynesian. I'm like, yo, this is a sickness.
Oh yeah, no, that is
like
addictive.
it's you know what I'm saying? Like it's addictive. Like and it's not addictive by chance. Like it's addictive, see, because of what you're saying. They're studying our behaviors as consumers. They're studying what we're doing, and they're creating these addictive things to just hook you. And guess what? They got insiders, see. They got insiders off of our consumer, you know what I'm saying, addictive behaviors. Crack chicken. Like they're calling it crack chicken. That's like the name. And for y'all that don't know, this is some local to Lansing. We got crack chicken. They call it crack chicken. They're selling it to you I'm talking about you buying it by the pans. But yet we keep consuming and consuming and consuming and not ever stopping to think like, yo, this is a setup. Like I'm talking about it's a setup. If somebody tell you about to go somewhere and get somebody about to, shoot it, whatever. I'm just making stuff up. But you know that this is a setup and you keep going back and going back and going back. And crazy. Your phones, doggone it.
Yeah. But how the question is, they build you around the schedule and you end up being okay with that because you don't want to take control. Yep. So E, to your point now, let's segue this into what we were talking about with success because I didn't want to get too far derailed.
Yeah, no
but
question.
You talked about success and ownership earlier when we were talking about success and really think about it. Like, it's so funny, man. People always, I think that's one of the top questions we get on the road. Like when we're not like in front of the big group, people always like, yo, do you really think like everybody can be successful? And E, you talked about it from a standpoint of, our run now. And it's crazy because I haven't even really thought about it. But like, if you talk about okay, let me ask y'all this. When would you say our run began? Okay, E, so before I go to the question or have you break it down. Okay, so we've been rocking and rolling for what, 13 years now, right? So Carl, 12 and a half,
right?
All right? So at what point did we start having, would you say like success, like in terms of what the world would see as success? Like, oh, okay, y'all hot, like it's popping. When would y'all say?
I'll say, 2011, the book came out. I think we started picking up steam, during that time because we had 500.
The book came out in 2011. Yeah. Okay, and when did What's Your Why come out?
Ooh, I don't know. That had to be after the book, though. See, it had to be after the book.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, it was. But I remember like certain times people say, "Oh, do you remember?" But I don't remember like these big wow moments, but I do remember shifts, and I remember. Look that up.
2012. I got you.
Remember,
2012.
So right after the book.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So right after the book. And I remember feeling a shift right then. And I'm gonna tell you the reason I felt like it was a shift is because when we cut that video and we put it out, I knew it was gonna be hot. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew it was gonna go. Like I knew it was gonna be a big deal. And so to me, that in my mind, I remember thinking that. So in my head, it's gotta be like we had enough traction for me to think like, yo, this could make a splash, right? So anyway, that's kind of the video that I go to when I think about like where we were. So 2012, let's say 2011 though, the book came out. Because we had how many pre-orders for the book?
500, right?
Yeah, 500.
Right, so 500. So yeah, so that's decent buzz, right? So 2011 is now 2018. We're halfway through 2018. When you say success, now this is a pretty decent run we've had. We ain't made it to 10 years yet, but we pulling up, right? And so, E, you talk about the factors, the outside factors that people probably see. You wake up at 3, you grind, you do this, y'all stayed together, no infighting, y'all added pieces to the team, y'all da-da-da-da. Like, okay, we see all of that. What are the intangibles that people don't see that have allowed us to get to this level?
First, I think what's important for people to understand is that, and it's just me, you know what I'm saying? I want to I'm like CJ Father. You know what I'm saying? What you say, C? 30 years and 4 months. What do you always say, C?
Oh yeah, 31 years and 4 days.
In 4 days, right? So I'm like C's father. So yeah. I've been doing this over, a quarter of a century. You know what I'm saying? Next year will be, pretty much at, the 30 mark. When I kind of started with the bell tower, and just speaking. And I think the biggest thing, and this is just for me. I'm not saying I'm gonna give you a couple things. I'm not saying this in this particular order. Well, I think the first thing I had to do, for me anyway, is keep my name. You know what I'm saying? My man said, put some respect on it. You know, and I think that's been the hardest thing for me because I started when I was young. And to be able to, now, I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, bruh. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, I can tell you that I have kept my, you know, by the grace of God, I've kept my name, you know what I'm saying, respectable, you know, and I think that's difficult to do when you start at 18, 19 years old, you know, and you go your 20s, you go your 30s, and I'm in my 40s, and I'm a stone throw away from 50, you know, and I can honestly say, especially as a professional, you know, that I've done what I needed to do, you know, where it's not like, you know, you look me up on the internet, I don't got no scandals, you know, and we've had an opportunity to work with a lot of people that we could have put our names on, and it wouldn't have been wrong. See, like, we wouldn't have been doing anything wrong to be attached with certain people. We didn't do nothing wrong, but we could have gotten ourselves in a situation where over the years with people I could have worked with who they don't necessarily have the best name. It don't mean that they monsters, but they don't have the best name. And so I don't have any tax, you know, evasion stuff. You know what I'm saying? I have any fraud. You know what I'm saying? I pay my student loans off. My credit score is straight. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the biggest piece, man.
About the worst thing is them dirty movies you order.
I know that's right. I know that's
Other than that,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? And,
Other than that.
And you know what though, man? You know, for real, man, bro, like I take that so serious. Even if people went through my movie watching, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't be like, oh, he was on the movie. Like, bro, I kept my name
well, that's
clean.
where I draw the line.
I kept my name clean.
I got to draw the line.
No question, no question. No, I'm not
You
mad
ain't
at
about
you.
to come into my
Yeah,
movie.
I don't
I'm
drink,
mad
I don't
at you.
smoke. I gotta have something.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
You know what I'm saying?
You're the two man. You can get away with that. See, you know what I'm saying? You know, but by the grace of God, man, I think that's the hardest thing to do for over almost 30 years. You know, we're not talking about you starting when you in your 30s. Yeah, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got a different mindset. You know, but when you start, man, when you're 19, 20, you know what I'm saying, 21, 22, you know, it's a lot to get into. It's a lot to get into.
That's a long time to keep a clean reputation.
Yeah.
It
It's a
really
long
is,
time.
especially in this day and age where I'm gonna be real. Like, you know, and this is like the PC generation, and I'm gonna just be real. Like, for everybody, look, it's so funny, man. We get people right in. Why y'all not talking about Trump? Why y'all not talking about this? Why you not like we know what's going on. I got an opinion on politics. I know what's going on with politics. We don't really get into it much because we tend to use this as a haven from the foolishness, right? Like we talk about stress, anxiety, all of those things. And I believe that the news, everything you see on TV, all of those things contribute to you having being a stressed out and things of that nature. And so we just chose when we started this podcast, we'll be family, sports, you know, not that we won't speak to current issues and current events, but this is not a current events podcast. Like we want something that's going to last a lifetime. And so it's not that we don't see this stuff and it's not that we don't have an opinion on it. We have very strong opinions on politics and things of that, and just in general, things that are going on in the world. And we actually do something about it. And for those of you who know our track record, you can see with the school days, you can see with us going into these schools and making it happen with teachers and in-service and education and the charity work we do and the donating we do, that we care about these issues, but we choose to, you know, keep the podcast for, you know, motivation, inspiration, and general, just a relief, I would say, from the outside world. I don't know how y'all feel about it, and we haven't had the conversation in a long time, but we really do try to use this as a haven for you to get away from all that talk. Like you watch that stuff all day. We just talk about it. You consume it all day, and then you come on the podcast and consume more of it. We tried to be different in that approach. But I say that to say, for you, E, to keep a clean nose, if you will, for that long, and not even like cheating on DD or nothing crazy, but just like even stuff now is like, yo, words you say and things you do, you know, coming back to haunt you. And bro, I'm seeing, I don't know if y'all been seeing these cats, these baseball players lately. It's like two baseball players, one for the Braves and one for the Astros. And they had some crazy tweets when they were like 15 or 16, and people digging up their tweets from 15 or 16 years old and they getting suspended, they getting, I don't know what, it's just everything going crazy for them. They might be 25, 26 years old, and they digging up tweets from 8, 9 years ago. And so we live in that generation, you know what I'm saying? We live in that era where, it's recreation to pull all your stuff up and make you look bad, you know what I mean? And so it really is amazing that you've done it for so long, but I think character is one of the things that you've always led with, and I think you see that paying off now with all the people, no disrespect, but all the people getting caught up in the Me Too, you know what I'm saying? Like, you seeing names of people you thought was just straight stand-up citizens who, basically admitting to and got multiple people accusing them of things that you would have never thought these people would be into. So definitely kudos to you for being in a position that you're in where people want to, know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna say it. One of our competitors got caught up recently, right? Like, it was a big scandal for my man. Like, so it is, I'm praying that it can keep going.
Yeah, and that's what I said.
But, it is a huge accomplishment.
I promise you I don't claim, to be perfect. I claim the progress, and I'm just grateful that, we ain't had Twitter out when I was 15. Who knows what I would have said. So this ain't even no thing where I'm better than nobody. We ain't had Twitter out. So you'd caught me at 19, ain't no telling what, ain't no telling what I was saying. But I'm saying in terms of doing our professional run, I made a commitment in our professional run. Like, God, I don't want to do anything to tear down what we've built up. You know what I'm saying? And I think the second thing, and again, I ain't no Rochelle T. Parks. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no Sean, the model, health model. You know what I'm saying? I ain't into that. But I've kept my health up to the point where I've been able to keep up with these young guns. Like, I'm running with dudes 10, 12 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying? And when you talk about being able to go to the airport, being able to turn around, get back on the airport, you're talking about being able to do 3 or 4 gigs, because that's what it took for us back in the day to get where we are. You're talking about driving here, driving there. Even now, praise be to God, God's grace. Like I said, I'm not no bodybuilder, but I've done the things that I needed to do in terms of my diet, as much as I can in terms of, drugs, as much as I could in terms of like being around toxic people and toxic environments. I try to do what I can, man, to keep my mind strong and keep my body strong so I can keep up. And when you've been doing something for 30 years, bro, like, that's just not easy to do, keep your health up. You have, for real, I was gone for 6 months, bro. Like, I wasn't at home. You know what I'm saying? I'm eating out, you know what I'm saying? I could be eating all kind of stuff. Like, I ain't gonna sit here and say I got the perfect diet, but it's just stuff that I could be eating burgers every day. You know what I'm saying? I could be eating ribs. Like, I'm grown. I could be at these restaurants smashing, drinking beers. I'm by myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm with Didi, you know what I'm saying? And we on the road, eating out, and I'm trying my hardest to, like, all right, let me get the quesadilla if I'm cheating. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a Coke. Like, a Coke for me is cheating. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I realize with this team, I'm a lot older than you guys, but your futures is dependent upon the decisions I make day to day. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, who knows, next 3 or 4 years, we might be in a position, and I see we're headed in that direction where you guys, we've built enough where it's residual and we don't have to really worry about, the ET brand like that. It's like, we put ourselves in a position where we had the type of products and services that we do have now. Maybe in 3 or 4 years, those products and services could put us in a situation where it's like, we don't need to lean on E no more. We got all these products and services. You know what I'm saying? We good.
Hey, sound like you plan to while out, E. That's your plan?
Question.
3, 4 more years, you can hold it together and then let loose.
We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But for now, it's like, and no disrespect to all the people who, trade and go to different teams and do what they feel like they have to do for their family. But the way I see it is like, we built this together. You know what I'm saying? We got to do this together. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't always easy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how much of it is an obligation, though, and how much is it just that's your character? Like, if you was working at Burger King, you would be that kind of straight up.
Yeah,
dude.
I think it's a part of my character, but I think it's a part of my character because when you really look at going the distance, you see people who split up, and maybe one person might do good, the other person don't. Or they neither one of them do it, whatever. I just kind of see it like, you got to be fair. Like, we built it together, and while it's going to be harder to stay together, like, that's the truth. Of course, it's easy for everybody to stay together when everybody broke or you're trying to build something. You can't go nowhere. You ain't got nothing. You know, but when you get to a place where you have, it's easy to be like, oh, okay, well, you go your way, you go your way, I go my way. Like everybody, you know, we good. Everybody can stand on their own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's kind of like, yo, we built this together, and I like to be able to also do what is a miracle, and that's how long can we stay together? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to do what a lot of people do, and that's blow up, and then everybody be like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I saw a hookup the other day. My wife, like, I missed the whole, what is it called? New Edition. Like, I missed when they did that tour. And my wife was like, okay, next time New Edition do the tour, I want to go. I was like, all right, bet, we'll go. And so she was like, saw something, was like, yo, New Edition coming to Detroit. She's like, but what's his name? Ain't gonna be there. What is it? Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike. Who is it, Didi? Ralph. Didi like, Ralph ain't gonna be there. And she like, I don't even want to go. Ralph ain't gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's Bad Bib DeVoe and Bobby. You know what I'm saying? And Didi like, yo, Ralph ain't there. I don't want to go. Like, and I want to be able to be that company 10 years from now. You know, God's willing. You know, we still doing our thing. I want people to be.
Well, not only that though, even sweeter than that, because they had to break up, then come back together, realize that they were better as a unit. But to go straight through, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody, like you said, nobody been able to do it for real. You know what I mean? Like, you look at, you know, every group, you know, I guess. Is there, like, can we think of another group that didn't break up?
Probably Earth, Wind, and Fire, maybe didn't break. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That was before social media.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
They didn't have social. They couldn't look it up. But no, I mean, you think about it, for the most part, every great duo or trio or whatever, they broke up, try to do their own thing. Now, the only one who really worked for is Beyonce. I'm pretty sure she don't have any,
I think
you know what I'm saying?
I think
remorse.
she could.
Wow. Yeah, she seemed to be doing
I don't know, because
right.
she brought him back for the Super Bowl, so maybe she did feel a little something, and it was just like, this ain't gonna work out.
Well, that's like you bringing Carl and I back to the Breakers. You know what I'm saying? For a night. You know what I'm saying? It's just pure charity. You know what I'm saying? Because you felt bad somewhere in your little evil heart, and you try to do some get back, like, hey, y'all want to come up here to the Breakers for the night? And we don't really want to, but we gonna go because we ain't got nothing else going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's more, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more of a, anyway, I digress. I'm going to see Beyonce, and I got tickets to see. Shout out to Jamal and Camille. Jamal and Camille got me and Candace tickets to go see Beyonce
in Chicago. Yeah, that's smart. That's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, that's phenomenal. So let me give you real quick then the last one, which to me is probably the hardest one. You know, but yeah, it's a gift, man. But you still gotta, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like when God give you a gift, you know, that gift is gonna go on cruise control. You know, so when I think about Inky, you know, I was teasing Inky the other day because we working together. I was like, yo, Ink, I'm not gonna make you taking my spot easy for you now. So when I see you in Philly, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put up a fight. And I think for me, you know, like, I don't do school like that. Like, I didn't do school like that, but there's just some things that I have done over the years to try to, you know, hone my gift and make sure I don't lose it, and not be one of those people who just feel like, well, because you have a gift and people listen to you, you know, in 2000, that they're gonna listen to you in 2000 and 2020, like that's not gonna happen. And so I think the other thing that I've done, knowing that I play a major role in this company, is not putting us in a situation where it's like, okay, E considered one of the top motivational speakers, and I get content, I get lazy, you know what I'm saying? I start feeling myself, you know, and I don't practice on my gift. And I try to make sure that I'm better this year than I was last year. And I got some things that I'm doing to prepare myself for 2019 that's gonna make me even better. And I'm gonna surround myself with other great speakers, because I think, like, you know, just being on the podcast, I was saying the other day, and having the guests like Jamal and Josh, is like, even for me sitting there, I'm being stretched. And so I was like, yo, I gotta make sure I get these speakers too that are gonna be the best in the world, and surround myself with them and learn from them and push them and get pushed by them. You know, so when I'm with Inky, like, yo, I'm sitting there taking notes. I'm like, yo, this dude, like, yo, for real, like, this dude passion, like, this dude care. So I think that's the last thing that I have committed myself to, is just like making sure that until God calls me home, that I keep sharpening my tool. And I just don't take for granted that just because I'm doing well today, that the work I'm putting in today is going to last.
How do you sharpen your tool when you get to this level? Honestly, like, how do you, because you said you reading a page now instead of a sentence. but like, what do you contribute most of your, I guess, professional growth to these days, and how do you measure it?
That's a good question. So.
Well, I think for me, these assessment tests we're doing, so, of course, I did the animal assessment, then we did the values, and I'm learning a lot about myself, but I'm also able to study the other animals. So I feel like when I speak now, I'm not just speaking to flamingos. I feel like I know all the animals and what their strengths and weaknesses are. So when I come in the room, it's like, it's not an overkill of flamingo. It's like, oh, okay, I see what I got to do to push the chameleon. Oh, I see what I got to do to push the turtle. Oh, I see what I got to do to balance the gorilla. All right, let's go, E. You know what I'm saying? And then when I took the values test, it's kind of like you take the test and you see what your value is, but you also see what other people's values are and why they do what they do. And it's not a thing of, well, if you ain't doing what I do, you ain't deep. It's like respecting others. So it's like, learning, if you will, just the language of people. You know what I'm saying? Of course, studying the second language is what I'm doing because it's helping me just to really see like how some errors I made growing up academically and some things I can do like to kind of sharpen myself. I told you I went to the concert with Kurt Franklin. He's been doing it for over 20 years. I think, Carl, like Melodies from Heaven was like doggone late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, studying Kurt and getting an opportunity to be in Kurt's presence, it's like, Kurt, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? To kind of keep your game where it is and just watching him, learning from him, seeing him pass it to his kids, looking at his physique, looking at some of the artists that he's been hooking up with, the Chases of the world. Like, I'm like Chance, the rapper, like I'm looking at my man, like Male Music. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, bro. Lecrae, I say, okay, cool. I see what you're doing. I see where you're going. So for me, studying the other people who've been doing it for 20 years or plus, kind of peeping out their styles, and then immersing myself in my work right now. I'm going to speak to a bunch of school teachers, school leaders, I should say, superintendents, assistant superintendents, principals, and spending, time with them. Like, come, walk me through your school. What are some of the challenges you're facing? I was at Iowa State. I spent an hour with 4 coaches. Sit me down, talk to me about the culture. Talk to me about the kids. What do you think about millennials? What did you learn in the NBA? What did you learn as a general manager before you became a coach? And just really immersing myself in the industry in a way that I didn't early in my career. I kind of went off of my strength. Like, I kind of went off of my passion and my drive, and I don't really care. I ain't talking to nobody. I'm just going in the room and waxing deep. But now I spend at least 30 minutes to an hour with the people that bring me in, and we kind of talk, and I try to get notes from them and kind of think how they're thinking, and then go in the room and put myself in a position, not as an outsider, but almost speak as I'm a part of that particular culture, if you will.
How do you keep from getting, I guess the word's not content, because I know that's never your style, but how do you keep it exciting, I guess? Because you are on the road 24/7. You speak every day, all day, 365, and I know it's your gift, and you got to stay committed, and I know you're going to do a great job at a high level. But you know how Jordan had to like start playing mind games with himself? Like, he would like make up people talking junk to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would literally like make it up in his mind, like trying to find a competitive edge from somewhere. Because I imagine after you win a couple championships, and you make all of that money, you're at a place where winning, it can't feel the same as it did before, right? Like, you know what that high is like now. And so how do you challenge yourself or keep it from getting boring? Or is it starting to get boring?
No questions asked. Definitely not starting to get boring. And this is why I would say to people, like, for real, you need to be a part of Breathe University. You need to be in the game changers. I was just talking to Joe, and I was like, yo, Joe, you spoke twice for Jalen's event. Bro, you're a phenomenal speaker. Like, you just gifted. And the reason, Joe, you won't go to the next level is because you with police officers every day. And no disrespect to police officers. Like, those police officers are going to help you to become a great police officer, but they're not about to help you to be one of the top motivational speakers in the world, see? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. That's not what they do. And I was like, bro, you need to get with the game changers, and then you probably need to be a part of the masters of the game, and he's been with us for 4 years, and he's been survived his whole time. Like, he's like, yo, I've been in a $19 package since the day y'all started. And I was like, yo, bro, I'm telling you, you need to take it to the next level. I promise you, as soon as we finish, he's like, where do I call C? Like, I'm ready to do the game changes. I'm ready to do masters of the game. And so I tell people that they need to be a part of that because, believe it or not, C, like, let's just say, this is a team and I'm on offense, so I feel like I'm sitting back, I'm like a top level, quarterback, and I'm watching you play defense, you know what I'm saying, and you like Ray Lewis playing defense, you know what I'm saying, and I'm sitting there on offense like, yo, hurry up and get a fumble or something, because the offense is killing. I'm ready to get out there and do my thing. So the first thing that kind of keeps me pumped up is just that competitive, like being competitive, and being around people who are dominating in their circle. You know what I'm saying? So when I see the mixtape come out, when I see the Masters of the Game, you know what I'm saying? And I know, of course, man, I'm doing my part with the Masters of the Game, but I'm not necessarily structuring that. So for me, it's like, oh, okay, they're over here killing the Masters of the Game. Okay, Game Changers. All right, cool. They're over here killing the Game Changers. All right, School Days. I'm about to murder School Days. We're about to take School Days to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like, even in my own circle of influence, it's enough life, it's enough productivity for me to be like, all right, when we get the ball back, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not on the sideline seat just watching you do your thing. I'm on there like, oh, okay, coach, come here real quick. Let me see that play again. Okay, show me that. All right, when I get back out, all right, I'm about to score a touchdown. All right, y'all get a touchdown, I'm getting a touchdown. Y'all stop them, I'm coming in and getting a touchdown. So for me, I think that's the thing right now that's so powerful, is just to see this company changing and going to another level. You know what I'm saying? In so many areas, I just feel like for me, it's like, you can't get comfortable. You can't just be like, you the speaker. It's like, okay, what can you do with School Days? How can you take School Days to the next level? Just, man, watching LeBron, bro, with the school he just did.
I was just going to bring it up. You took it from me, yeah.
So me looking at LeBron do his thing, like I ain't into sports.
Thanks for ruining the line of the week.
Okay, so we was all on it. I was going to say, okay, go for it.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, so watching LeBron do his thing, it's like, yo, I'm not no basketball player. You know what I'm saying? So while I enjoy to a limited extent basketball, I didn't even play basketball. So like, that's not really my sport like that. But when he did the school, let me tell y'all, man, like for real, for me, I'm not shocked. Like I helped do some work, for a year or two when my boy Russell was the school leader at Jalen Rose Academy. So I've been with and have been a part of programs with athletes, with superstars, if you will. Now I haven't been a part of LeBron's thing. I'm not saying that, but I've been in these schools where where athletes have put together these phenomenal curriculums, et cetera. But when I saw the staircase at LeBron's school, the staircase, bruh. When I saw what these kids was walking into, I'm like, yo. So I'm inspired by LeBron. Like, yo, I'm already knowing I'm gonna do a school, but LeBron got me like on some like, yo, be careful, how you do your school though. Don't just open up no normal doors. They got bikes, you know what I'm saying? They got helmets. They got the GED programs for the parents. Some kind of work opportunities for the parents. They've got the free breakfast, the lunch, the snack. Like I said, the bicycle boy, so you can get back and forth. If you live in a 2-mile radius, you get transportation to the joint. You get a free scholarship if you finish his school. You know what I'm saying? You get to go to college for free. Like, you get to see LeBron. It's just a lot, bro. So for me, it's like, yo, I can't afford to chill because I've become one of the, premier speakers in the world. I haven't started a school yet. I haven't opened up an adult facility I haven't opened up a GED program. I haven't, so just watching you and ETA do their thing, and go to this next level, watching LeBron do his thing. Yeah, those are the things that get me inspired to say, hey, everybody wanted to win 5 because Magic won 5. Then everybody wanted to win 6 because MJ won 6. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to have a shoe. Why? Because MJ had a shoe. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, yo, I'm just getting started, bro. Like Serena said, I'm just getting started. When you look at what LeBron is doing, Jalen Rose opened up an academy in Detroit. I'm from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So when I see these individuals, man, and not just play a sport, but do great things, it's just like, yo, I wish we could bleep, 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 bleep. I don't want, give the wrong image because I've never seen Power, the show. But I've heard a lot about it. And for me, I have a level of respect from 50. It's like, yo, you went from doing rapping to, to your G Unit, and they did big things, to now you have one of the top shows on the network. Like, that's big. And so it's like, okay, yeah, see,
Which, by the way, they better step it up because this season been a little disappointing thus far.
I heard the opposite. I heard somebody say this was one of the fire ones.
Nah.
Okay.
No,
okay.
You talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
That's one of the few shows that me and my wife watch, and this season has been.
But the other ones were good though.
Just a little. It's new, so I'm gonna give it a chance. But it's been a little. I didn't see the one last week anyway.
Okay,
though, so
all right.
maybe it got
Yeah,
better.
but so I'm just saying, you see these people who become number one in their arena, but then they go outside of their arena and they start doing other phenomenal things. So it's like, we pretty much have cornered this market and we were doing a good thing. But like you said, we got other stuff, with the
time to diversify that portfolio.
And we are, but I think there's still more room to diversify from, like C-Say with the Solar Boy, with the real estate piece, the courses that we're teaching on BU that are helping people, get to another level, the stuff we're doing in the schools.
We got Jamal course almost ready to get fired up here shortly, and that's going to be crazy.
I've been
Shout
getting
out to everybody
so many emails, bro. I got 3 emails yesterday. Yeah.
It's coming, and we want to do it a little different, man. We're going to have like live video courses too, where he can walk you through how he, evaluates a property, how he looks at a home, determines whether to flip it, determines whether to keep it, and the whole nine, man. We're going to put together a beautiful system for y'all, so just be on the lookout for that. But no, E, your point is well taken. Last question or last thing, E, that I wanted to contribute to the discussion is, and try to answer this in a human way if you can. Please don't give us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want the Superman
Nobel Prize.
Answer.
You don't want the Nobel Prize.
So
answer.
Answer it in the way of somebody who would order a movie. You know what I'm saying? From the hotel. Just, you know what I'm saying? As if they was. You know what I'm saying, Carl? Y'all see who the real troublemaker is. You see how Carl be egging me on with all that laughing. I try to just slide it in and slide out, and Carl just.
What was the name of the service? E, I just want to hear the name one more time.
I'm not even going to say it, Carl.
Hey, see, because I don't know if you peeped it, but he said something at first.
You better not continue watching that on the plane, though. I promise you. Ain't going to have your butt up off that plane.
It's a little kid behind you, E. Cut that
out. That's why they shouldn't be in first class anyway, huh, E? I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sure you did.
I'm sure serious you did. Answer. He's about to ask him a question, a serious answer.
Okay. So the other obvious ingredient, and I would say probably, Carl, you can disagree with me if I'm wrong, of E's success personally would be the consistency piece, right? And so everybody knows that your routine is just insane. So in terms of that consistency, on the days where you don't feel it, like, I mean, for real, I had one yesterday. I'm gonna just be real. I don't know what was going on, but yesterday, bro, and maybe it's because my wife went out of town and I had the kiddos on the solo. I'm not sure what happened, but like yesterday, bro, I'm telling you, I just did not feel it. Like, I woke up kind of in a little late, kind of in the fog a little bit. The kids kind of, it was their first day of school, so I was trying to get them ready, couldn't find nothing. I did end up hitting the gym, but I wasn't feeling that, and I came back and had a whole bunch to do. But I promise you, I wasn't feeling it. And I'm not gonna say I didn't get it done, but I can't say I was productive as I should have been yesterday, just because I was just in a funk, bro. Like, every time I tried to open something, you open something to get busy, and then you do it for like 20 minutes, and you like, man, I was almost like falling asleep. How can we maintain that high level of productivity when you're not feeling it? Like, just flat out, like, yo, this is a day that I'm ready to just chalk up now. Cause I'm just be for real, man. I wasn't feeling it yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, I was, in a funk. Like, I couldn't get done what I felt like I needed to get done. I probably got about 67% of the stuff I needed done, but and that's rare for me. Like I said, I was in a funk, and I rarely get like that because I do try to stay, steadfast to my routine, which I think helps. But for you, like, give us a human answer, because I know there's days and you would never know it. You know what I mean? Like, but I know there's days when you get up and you like, okay, it's 3. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling this walk. I'm not feeling the 18-mile journey. I'm not feeling the prayer line. I'm not feeling. How do you still make it happen?
So I'll be honest with you, and this is very human. I think people do themselves an injustice when they realistically think that they're going to be able to keep that high for 365 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, you killing yourself just thinking that. So for me, it's like, it's 365 days. So if I get 320 or 330 of those days, operated at a high level, I'm already beating like 90% of the humans. I saw something the other day, I think Kendall put it up, see, and it said if you make six figures, like at the low level 6 figures, 100 and something thousand, you represent the 5% of the world in terms of your income, see. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So if you just make $110,000 a year, you are in the 5%. The other 95% is $9.99.99 and down, and you know what I'm saying? So for me, I look at it as I don't have to. I always say this. See, if you're a gazelle, you don't have to worry if you're a gazelle, but you're at the front of the line gazelle. You're a fast gazelle. You know what I'm saying? Because the lion ain't about to catch the fast gazelle. He about to catch the one that's in the back, the one that's chilling. So for me, I don't even try to have 365 high days. I try to average around 320, 330, right? So I do this thing with, and it's funny that you would say that today. So met with Joe this morning at 5:30. We walked for an hour and a half, so 7 o'clock. I get back, I got the prayer line, and of course Didi and Jada are with me. Jada's about to go back to school, so we trying to get in our time, and I'm just like, yo, I don't have time to go run, 4 miles. Like I just don't have the time to do it. So I came in the room and I did the her name Rochelle. I did Rochelle T. Parks, your motivator. I did her HIT, which is a high intensity training, and she gave me a 5-minute and a 10-minute. See, so it was like, yo, I'm about to knock this 10-minute joint out. You know what I'm saying? I did two 90-second planks. Did the push-up boy for 30 seconds, then you go from that to the ab thing, and then you go from that to the squats, then you go back to the, you feel me? So I was just like, yo, when Didi get up, she gonna go on a walk the beach. So you gonna have to let the run thing go. It's not about to happen. But what you can do is you walk with him, you walk with her. I probably put in close to 6 miles, 3.5 with him, 3.5 with D, and I did the HIT. You know what I'm saying? And the HIT ain't my thing, but that 10-minute HIT just guarantees it's not gonna be a total wasted day. And then Didi and I did lunch, we split lunch. You feel me, Carl? So it's like, you ain't run, so you can't smash. You know what I'm saying? So we just split lunch, bro. So I'm just saying, I don't have it where I'm trying to do 365. Give me 320, 330.
Hey, you got contingencies for the off
Yeah,
days.
Absolutely. Yep, it's a good term. Yep, absolutely. So that we at least get something done, Carl. So it's like, yo, this ain't about to be my best day. So let's just do a 10-minute boy. And then I'll do another, I might do another 10-minute, maybe later, but maybe.
Then how do you make sure you don't get caught up in that though? Because then complacency is the devil.
Carl just said it's the contingency plan.
You have a not best day, then the next day you're like, you know what, just another bad off day. Let me just do a 5 minute.
It's what Carl said though.
Next thing you know, you laying on the couch eating potato chips looking like nothing
but
professor.
I'm just saying, Carl said it's a contingency
choosing
plan.
another movie.
Yeah,
right. You're watching another movie.
Lord have mercy. I got to get 2 different hosts. See, they pull him all the way in now. He'll pull him over now.
Hey, me and Carl about to start a whole new podcast.
Y'all need to.
It's for dog ears only.
Lord have mercy. But yeah, Carl, if it becomes, if your contingency plan is the plan, then it's not a contingency plan. It's the plan.
Right.
You feel me? So, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So you can't get caught up in the contingency plan, and then give yourself a hookup. Like I can only have 2 days of this or 3 days of this, but I can't have 3 back-to-back days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I swear, don't do it, because then it become a habit quick. I'm telling you. Once you get past 35 years old, you could eat healthy for 62 days in a row and eat one egg, turkey, bacon, and cheese sandwich.
Great.
And I promise you looking like you got stung by a bee. I'm like, what?
It's so discouraging. It's so discouraging.
It's so
I'm 2 days
discouraging.
from.
Bro, I'm talking about you get one fumble for every 62 touchdowns you score, bro. And you out of here. You like back to the Canadian League.
I'm talking about the Canadian League, bro. One sandwich.
That's why I swear I don't even like doing a cheat day no more. I'm like, yo, the cheat day ruined 8 weeks worth of work. Man, shoot. Organifi, gently green dried superfood greens powder. Now you can get all your healthy superfoods in one glass with no chopping, no blending, no juicing, no cleanup, all right? Imagine drinking some of the world's greatest superfoods in one glass. Organifi's proprietary formula is scientifically designed to nourish your body with vital nutrients without the need to dramatically change or alter your daily routine, all right? And the best part about this thing, guys, is 100% money-back guarantee when you order Organifi green juice today, all right? You're protected by the 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee, non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free, and vegan. And y'all know E is vegan-ish.
That's right.
And he has
like that.
He has co-signed this.
That's right.
So he is veganish, and we give a big shout out to our sponsor, Organifi. Bless you. Big shout out to our sponsor, Organifi, for always rocking with the podcast, showing us love, man. Go to Organifi.com, ORGANIFI. Use the promo code SUCCESS for 20% off your order, man. Let us know what you think. Shout out to everybody who's been emailing us in and sending pics and the whole 9 of them rocking with the Organifi, man. I see everybody out there just going to work, getting that goodness inside of you. So shout out to Organifi for being our partner on this podcast. You guys already know.
You don't need a contingency plan with Organifi. It's already easy enough for you. You don't need it.
No, you don't need a contingency plan. Oh, this is a good one. This is for Dave in Iowa said, E.T., what do you do when you met somebody before and you know you should know their name, but you forgot? And then you meet them again. What's the proper way to ask them their name without offending them? The second
just
time.
be real, bro. Like, bro, I swear, man, my bad on everything. Like, I'm just forgetful, bro. What's your name again? Don't even play with it.
Honest route.
Yeah, don't even play.
Honest route.
Yeah, don't even play, bro. I forgot, bro. What's your name again?
Well, Carl, what do you do in that situation?
I'm faking it till I'm talking about faking it till I make it. What up, bro? Man, it's been a minute. Yep. I'm faking it all the way out.
Let me see your license real quick.
Right.
Like,
and only because, see what I say is, it's unfair for us, man. We going from city to city, event to event. You're going to see our face. You're remembering our face. It's hard, and I'm not trying to be nothing close to big time. It's just we seeing 100 people like every 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hard. I know you.
I got a 4 conference rule. If you come to 4, I'm going to remember your name.
For sure, yeah.
But if
there
you've been
is.
to 2,
yeah.
and I met you in St. Louis in 2016 and then 2018, I'm sorry if I forgot your first name, but I will come to 2 more and I'll remember. So shout out to everybody coming out to the con. So E, you said just ask them.
I just tell the truth, bro. Like, yo, for real, I apologize. I know you probably told me your name 3 or 4 times. I forgot, bro. If you just tell me your name again, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. This time I'm gonna put and what I'll do is, like, if he say my name is Bruce, I'll be like, yo, Bruce Smith from the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna try to remember that next time. Bruce Smith. But hey, do me a favor.
Right.
If I forget your name again, bro, don't take it personal. Like, I won't forget him.
Let me tell you something. I'll put you in my phone as Bruce Smith, Buffalo Bills from the Cincinnati Conference 2000.
No question.
And that way when you call me, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing, a whole paragraph
no
come
question,
up.
Bro.
And I know exactly who you are. Let's see. Let's jump to another one. Leonard said, each of you's biggest flaw as a leader.
Oh, man. That's easy for me. Not being effective duplicator of myself.
Not being a leader at all.
You know, right, not being a leader
I'm just saying,
at
that's
all.
me. I'm just not, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, I'm more of a shepherd, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I have to, when we're in a business situation, I have to turn that leader on and just say, hey, I gotta do what's best for the business, because the business is the focus, not the person. Whereas when you're doing ministry, the person is the focus, not necessarily the ministry. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just turning off the shepherd boy and giving you what you need, and that's, you know, the leader. So that's usually my challenge.
My biggest flaw is that I just don't have
Right.
You know
That's a big flaw.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's one of them trick questions, like on your on the interview on the job. They're like, what's your greatest flaw? You like, look, it's just that I work too hard. You know, I bury myself in my work and I'm just overproductive. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of question is that? Hate when they
I won't
ask
be
them
coming to
trick
work
questions.
on time. I get drunk on Sunday, and I don't usually come to work on time.
You know what I'm
on
saying?
Monday.
Flat out. Right. Right. Exactly. Anybody about to say all that? Biggest flaw as a leader? Probably, I would say for me, maybe impatience, maybe.
Yeah,
I would say impatience. You know what I mean? Back to the animal assessment. I get
after
irritated
it.
rather
Yeah, you
quickly.
get after it.
I know that. Yeah, no, I do. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just have to pray and just let God use me. Let's see. Aisha in Houston said, "Oh my God, I love Toby." CJ, how did you find Toby? Actually, E and Carl found Toby, and I just You know what I mean?
See,
I
put him
just
to work.
polished him up. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Toby. If you don't know who Toby is, you should know who he is. Toby Nwigwe, our artist, ETA. It sounds weird to say our artist. He's not really our artist. He's his own artist. But did y'all see he just got the blue check today?
Oh, for real? I didn't see it.
Yeah, so he verified on
Big
IG.
time.
And he blowing up, man. You see Erykah Badu reposting this stuff, man, giving him big shout outs. He was on the FaceTime with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle telling him how much he loved the music. And man, just a blessing to watch Toby go to that next level. And we've been actually getting a lot of emails and comments from people asking if we could bring him on the podcast, which I think would be good because he's got an incredible story. Really does. But to see him, blowing up, going to the next level, of course, he had performed at the BET Awards and just going crazy, man. And,
I hit him up and told him Joseph Lowry said I was dope. You know what I'm saying? And sent him a pic. He was dying laughing.
Right.
He said, yeah,
Right,
I love
right.
it. He said, Erykah Badu said I'm dope.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying,
So,
even that is magical how he took, a tweet back, how he took his conversation with Dave Chappelle and turned it into a song. It's like the boy is just mad creative, man. It's mad creative. Using everything you have, use what you got to get what you want, bro.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's stop there. Any announcements, Carl? Hit us with the announcements. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. All right, y'all. Y'all know, of course, we got. So let me start with BU, y'all. We have our coaching with Eric Thomas. Just like, we not even making it deep, y'all. You go to breatheuniversity.com. It's the big blue banner. Like, don't ask no questions. Click the button. Stop playing around. Y'all heard it. You want to be a part of this thing because we're not playing, y'all. We're trying to take not only ourselves, but as many people as we can with us, you know what I'm saying, on this journey. Like, what's the line I said at the beginning? We tired of seeing people do ostrich things when we know you got eagle wings, you know what I'm saying? So, for real, stop playing. Join Breathe University. We have our weekly call. And again, we said it last week. Eric Thomas, the one, the only hip-hop preacher, is on the call every single Sunday morning. And he's bringing messages, prepared messages, just like he's preparing for keynotes. He's bringing prepared messages directly for us, and we get to ask questions to E directly. So, like, quit playing. Like I said, go to breatheuniversity.com and just join our coaching with ET package. Man, we got some events coming up, of course. We got our Take Control San Francisco, August 26th. That's right around the corner. Saving 7,000 is September 1st, of course, in Atlanta. And then y'all heard us talk a little bit about it, but Ignite the Dream, you're going to be hearing a lot about that one. That's the one that E and Inky going in a showdown. I'm talking about, sound like E sound like he, what's the movie with your boy, Michael B. Jordan? E sound like he going back into Trent and Creed, right. E sound like he and Creed trying to get his reps up. That, of course, is September 9th. And last but not least, our Phenomenal Life Jamaica, guys, February 25th to March 3rd. We're going Iberostar. If anybody's ever been or heard about Iberostar, let me tell you, it's the best vacation that I've ever had in my life. Our boy Quest got married at Iberostar, and we just going right back to Iberostar in Jamaica this time. But you do not want to miss this, guys. We're doing live sessions. Like, it's not just hanging out. We're doing both. We hanging out, we having fun, but at the same time, we got Sean coming through and just killing it with the health game. We got Rob coming through with the finance game. And then, of course, we got the squad. E going to be bringing some fresh content. C going to be bringing some content. We got Josh, Jamal, the whole squad, y'all. So you definitely do not want to miss this out. Again, February 25th to March 3rd. The website is phenomenallifejamaica.com.
All right. Hey, man, you sound like you're getting pretty good at that, bro. I'm
Hey.
gonna start letting you do that on the red.
Yeah, let's get it.
E, I'll see you on, before we get to the nugget of the day, I'll see you on Friday and Saturday, I think. We got Bama,
Yes.
and of course, E is baptizing Miss Ellie Downs. Dr. Downs, who you guys heard on the podcast, E is baptizing, who's also Candace and I's goddaughter, baptizing her on Saturday morning. I believe we have University of Alabama the day before,
Yes,
correct?
absolutely. Football. Try to see if I can.
So we'll be with the Roll Tide.
So if anybody's listening to this, I'm trying to see if we can get to Avery Johnson while we down there, see, because the basketball team is doing that
Oh, yeah,
thing.
no. You know Avery lives right around the corner from
Oh,
Adam.
good. Okay, good.
Yeah, so I tell Adam
Go
to
knock on the door.
walk
Yeah.
over there and let him know what's up. But yeah, no, Avery definitely is right there. So, yeah, I think that's about it for me, guys. I appreciate y'all. And E, why don't you get us out of here on this nugget of the day so we can get some work done?
Guys, let me just keep it 100 with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just while we in here we like right here. And I'm looking at, man, out my window, and I see a group of young people. They're probably like, man, in their 20s, in the middle of the day. Let me see what time it is, Carl. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to speak out of turn. 1:48, Carl. They probably been out there for about 30 minutes. It's two couples. They're in their 20s, bro. And they out in the beach enjoying themselves, Carl. They on the beach. They got their towel out. I see a little soccer ball. They got their little snacks out. A group of them went, I think one couple, they went, she looked like she has on a snorkel and stuff down there, and they just went out in the deep doing their thing, and the other two are holding hands, walking past back and forth on this rock. Listen to me, y'all. It's your life. Do not accept the life that's been given to you. You like, yo, this is where my mama was born. This is where my daddy was born. This is where my grandparents was born. Like, this all I know. I haven't been 8 mile radius outside of my neighborhood. Guys, do not accept the world that was given to you. This is what my people do for a living. This, my uncle was in the gang. My brother was in the gang. My father was in the gang. You know what I'm saying? My people did this for a living. Like, do not accept the life that was given to you. Here are a group of young people with shorts on, shirts off. She got the snorkeling stuff. My man with her, they in the deep. They walking holding hand. Like, look, it's here, West Palm. It's here. It's in America. You can experience it. I'm seeing cruise ships. I'm seeing private boats out here. Like, guys, this is a life that is available to you. This is a life that's available to you. Matter of fact, Carl grew up swimming in this kind of stuff right here. It's real. It can happen for you. So do me a favor. Do not accept the world that has been given to you. You go get you a pen, go get you a pad, and you write the life you want to live. And after you write it, you close that book and you go out and do the stuff that's necessary to live your best life. So stop living somebody else's life and live your best life. I ain't got time for you. I'm living my best life.
Hey, appreciate that nugget of the day. E, Carl, appreciate you, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all listening. Go leave us a review on iTunes. We'll see you next week.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul, with all your